Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. So we will continue with the Murli we were listening to yesterday, where Baba was talking about faith. And we'll do a quick recap of the Murli. So yesterday we started off with the Murli, which was spoken on December 27th, 1987. Signs of the victorious jewels whose intellects have faith. And Baba talked about faith and what faith leads to. So Baba started off with saying faith brings intoxication. And there is intoxication, that which is visible in our face, in our words, and also actions. And Baba said, when there is faith, there is easy victory. Victory is guaranteed, but you also experience victory to be very easy to experience and not something where we have to labor. And then Baba also mentioned that when there is faith, you don't have any questions, you don't have any doubts, and all the questions finish, and you're able to put a full stop to every situation. And then the intellect becomes, that has faith, is able to experience being a carefree emperor at every moment. So being a carefree emperor means there is no worry, because there is nothing missing or anything lacking in the one who has complete faith. And also Baba was mentioning in the Murli that we are the ones who have an elevated stage. So our stage is not dependent on external situations. For the souls in the world, their stage depends on what's external. So if situations are good, then the stage is good. If the situations are not good, then that affects the stage. But Baba says your stage is created on the basis of your elevated thoughts, the inheritance you're receiving from Baba, the blessings that you're receiving. So your stage is completely independent of what's external. And for having this elevated stage, you need to have faith. So again, the emphasis was again on faith. And Baba was mentioning that, when you have faith, you will surrender to the Father. And the surrendering of the I and mine and whatever is old, the old sanskaras. And when you surrender completely, even you surrender, Baba said, all vices and even the progeny of the vices, because even if a little of it remains, it comes back to life. And Baba said, if you have completely finished even the progeny of a vice, then it won't even come in your dreams, it won't even come in your thoughts. So when you surrender completely, you become a complete renunciate as well. And Baba was talking about how we have guaranteed victory in every situation. And we also are Trinetri. We know what is to come in future. We know the past, present, and future. So when there is faith, Baba mentioned, you will be humble. There will be humility. And that humility will bring creative energy. And that creative energy will bring the newness which is required for transformation, for renewal to take place. So Baba beautifully tied faith with also humility and being an instrument and being very creative. And then Baba also tied faith with being generous, where you keep others in the front. So not me, but Baba said you first. And and generosity, Baba gave an example of Brahma Baba, how he kept Mama and all the children in the front, saying that they are cleverer than I am. And no, there is no it's a selfless feeling that you have, a feeling to just give, not to take anything. So Baba says, free yourself from all limited desires where you would want to, in a subtle way, take from others. So always have the benevolent feelings to give. So you receive from Baba and you give others. And Baba said, those who keep others in the front will never be left behind. They will always be the first instruments to appear in Baba's list. So when you say you first, it's actually all about, drama will automatically bring you ahead. So those were some of the points Baba shared in yesterday's Murli, and we'll continue where we left off. So towards the bottom paragraphs, Baba was talking about storms of Maya. So when the foundation is strong, if a storm comes, the foundation will not waver. But if the foundation is weak, then if any storm comes, we know how it affects. So Maya will come to test our foundation of faith. And just like any storm comes, it will blow you up and then throw you down. So Maya also attracts us, tempts us with some worldly pleasure, temporary intoxication. So we get attracted, and then how Maya completely throws us down and gets our stage to rock bottom. So Baba said, it's an artificial attainment that she traps us with. So we have to be very careful. And for that, Baba said, you have been given the three eyes. You are the Trinetri. So you know the past, present, future. You have the third eye to which you can see things very clearly in a subtle way, so that we're not deceived by Maya. So here it says that faith is tested at the time of storm, just as storms uproot the foundation of big old trees. So these storms of Maya also try to uproot the foundation of your faith. However, the result is that the foundation is not uprooted that much, but it shakes a lot. The foundation even becomes weak because of being shaken. So at such a time, check the foundation of your faith. If you ask anyone if they have firm faith, what would they say? They would give you a very good lecture. So we would get a very good lecture on faith. It is good to have faith. However, if such a time your faith shakes, then for it to shake means that you are also shaken from your reward for birth after birth. So if your faith shakes, then Baba says even the reward that you're meant to receive shakes. Therefore, check at the time of storms. When someone doesn't give you some limited name or regard, or when the storms of Maya come in the form of wasteful thoughts, when the desires you have are not being fulfilled, then at that time, do you remember your faith of being a powerful soul of the Almighty Authority? And so when the test paper comes and we don't receive what we get in a limited way, so Baba says, do we remember the faith of being a powerful soul of the Almighty Father? Or does the wasteful become victorious over the powerful? If the wasteful becomes powerful, if the wasteful becomes victorious, then the foundation of your faith would shake, would it not? Then, instead of experiencing yourself to be powerful, you would experience yourself to be a weak soul. You would then be disheartened. This is why you are being told to check at the time of storms. Limited name and honor and the consciousness of I bring you down from spiritual pride. So one is the self-respect we have, which we receive, from what Baba tells us in the Murlis. If we pay attention to that, that brings spiritual pride. And then Baba says, then the limited expectations of name, honor, and the consciousness of I will bring us down from that spiritual pride. So any limited desire will bring you down from the faith of being completely ignorant of the knowledge of desires. So Mama says the faith of also being ignorant of the knowledge of desires. So Baba says, don't even have the knowledge of desires, to know of a desire. So even knowing of it then attracts the intellect or pull the intellects towards it. So faith does not mean I am not a body, but a soul. But what type of a soul am I? Yes, so it's interesting. What type of a soul am I? To experience that intoxication and self-respect at that time is called being victorious because the intellect has faith. If someone doesn't take a paper but says that he has passed with honors, would anyone believe him? A certificate is required. No matter with how many marks someone passes or if he has a degree, until he receives his certificate, there is no value. So you need a proof to show that you've passed with a good marks or percentage. So when you take the test paper at the time of the paper and you pass it and receive the certificate from Baba and the family, you can then be called victorious through having faith in the intellect. So similarly, when test papers come for us Brahmins, Baba says, if we pass it, we'll receive certificate from Baba and from the family, which means support from both. And Baba says you can then be called victorious, having faith in the intellect. Do you understand? So continue to check your foundation. You heard the speciality of having an intellect with faith, did you not? Let the spiritual intoxication according to the time be visible on your face. Let it not be just with your mind that is pleased, but people should also be pleased. Let everyone experience you as a soul or as being a soul who remains intoxicated. Means your presence brings lightness to others. So Baba says people should be pleased, and your mind, not just the mind, but even souls around you should be pleased. Do not just be the one who is liked by yourself, but also be liked by people and by the Father. This is what is to be victorious. Acha, to all the victorious jewels whose intellects have faith, to all the carefree children who are free from worry, to the spiritual souls who stay in the intoxication of having guaranteed victory, to the special souls who go beyond all storms and experience them to be a gift, to the children whose intellects have faith and who remain constantly unshakable, immovable, and stable in a constant stage. Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. So the emphasis on storms being a gift so that we can check our level of faith, how strong it is, and if we are unshakable and immovable and not dependent on external, but our own internal stage is elevated based on what we've received from Baba. Now, Bap Dada meeting foreign brothers and sisters. Do you experience yourself to be closed jewels? What is the sign of closed jewels? They will always experience being easy and natural jnani yogi souls who are embodiments of virtues and servers. So those who are close jewels, Baba says, easy, natural, jnani, and yogi, and embodiment of virtues and servers. These four specialities will easily be experienced in every step of the closed jewels. Not a single one of them would be any less. Not that he would be not so good at yoga or better at yoga or would be weak when it comes to imbibing divine virtues. He would easily experience being constant in everything. So Baba says all four, that soul will do well. A soul, a closed jewel, will never experience anything to be hard work, but will easily experience success. Because Bap Dada liberates you children from laboring at the confluence age. And Baba says you have been stumbling upon birth after birth in devotion. So Baba says, now I have come to free you from labor and from stumbling. So Baba liberates us from laboring at the confluence age. But of course, if we follow Srimad as is and have no mixture in it, so whether it was effort through your body or effort through your mind, you have labored for 63 births, have you not? You kept trying various methods in order to find the Father. So that was effort of the mind. And even looking at wealth, the service that you do, which you call a job, look how hard you work in that. And so one is the effort of the mind, and then physically also what effort we made, Baba says. So that all requires effort, does it not? However, you will not have to do that work for half the cycle. You will now be liberated from that too. Neither will you have a Lokik job, nor will you do devotion. You will be liberated from both. Even now, although you do have a Lokik job, while being in a Brahmin life, you now find it different doing your Lokik job, do you not? So even while doing Lokik job, if we are connected with Baba, if before starting anything, we keep Baba in front of us, invite Baba to be with us, combined, we see how easily everything flows through. Now it's like constantly you have Baba's company that is keeping you going. So it's very different from doing it by yourself when you have Baba with you. So now while doing your Lokik job, you remain double light. So I, the soul, am light and I feel light. So everything that we do with a feeling of lightness and easiness. So why? Because while doing your Lokik job, you have the happiness that you are carrying out that job for the sake of a Lokik service. You don't have any desires in your mind, do you? Where there are desires, you find it takes effort. So even if a job is being done, it's to sustain the Alokik family and the Alokik service. So Baba says, that's why there are no other desires. And if there are, then it takes effort. Now you are just doing it in name because you know that by using all three, your body, your mind, and wealth, you are accumulating multi-million-fold return for the one in the imperishable bank. So this is a bank where you give hardly anything and you receive so much in return. You will then simply continue to eat what you have accumulated. You will be liberated from the labor of making effort to have yoga, of listening to and relating knowledge. You sometimes get tired of listening to classes, do you not? There you will do the Lokik study of royalty while playing around. There it's all about running a kingdom. So Baba says there'll be study of royalty. You won't have to remember so many books. You will be liberated from all types of effort. Some have a burden of studying. At the confluence age, you are recording the sanskaras of becoming free from laboring. So Baba says you have to do what you have to in terms of responsibility. So Baba reminds us, be a trustee and practice being bodiless, because the biggest burden is when we are attached to the body, and from that, everything bodily related. So Baba says, now we are recording the sanskaras of becoming free from laboring. Even if storms of Maya do come, you consider gaining victory over Maya to be a game, not laboring. Whatever happens in a game, you have to gain victory, do you not? So for us, it's a game with Maya. Baba says, play the game and enjoy the game. Always go a level higher. So you play a game of gaining victory over Maya. And even in a game, when you cross one level another, the challenge increases. So here also Baba says, as your stage increases, Maya's opposition will also increase, but it's only for you to keep going forward. So you play a game of gaining victory over Maya. Do you find it to be a game or something difficult? When you are stable in the stage of a master, almighty authority, you will find it to be a game. In fact, you challenge her even more to come and take leave for half the cycle. So she comes to celebrate the farewell ceremony, not to fight with you. So she also, and Baba says that even Maya wants to go, but we don't let her go. We keep her entertained by inviting her inside. So Baba says that she also is coming to celebrate a farewell ceremony. A victorious jewel is victorious in every task at every moment. You are victorious, are you not? So the answer came as Haji. Yes, indeed. So when you go back, say Haji there too. So when challenges come also, I am victorious. Nevertheless, you have become very courageous. Previously, you used to get afraid very quickly. And so as our yoga power increases, of course, there's more courage. And as the more we practice being more soul conscious, we overcome fear. So previously you used to get afraid very quickly. Now you have become courageous. You have now become experienced. So you have become those who have the authority of experience. You have also developed the power to discern. And discern means you're able to pick the truth from the false, from reality, what is truth from an illusion. And so you therefore are not afraid. You have been victorious many times. You are and you will be victorious. Always have this awareness. Acha. And so this is the spiritual pride that Baba says we children should have, that I am victorious. I've always been and will always be. So Bapdad are now speaking to Dadis at the time of farewell. Dadiji came back after 3 or 4 days tour of Bombay. So you have become the ruler of the globe now. It is good. There is service here and service there too. Whilst living here, you do service, and wherever you go, service takes place. You have taken a very big contract of service. You are a big contractor, are you not? There are many small contractors, but those who are big contractors have to carry out big tasks. So big contractors are big projects. So Baba says, Dadi Janki is big contractor. Baba, today I enjoyed myself a lot listening to the Murli. There is nothing but pleasure. It is good. You people catch this and make it clear for others. Not everyone can catch this to the same extent. Just as Jagadamba used to listen to the Murli, clarify it, and enable everyone to imbibe it by making it easy, similarly, you are now an instrument for that. So Mama would churn the Murli and then she would share it in her own words, simplify it, clarify it so that it would be easy for others to understand and imbibe. And then Baba said that Dadi Janki has now been an instrument for that. Some new ones are unable to understand. But Bab Dada is not looking at only those who are in front of him. Baba doesn't only look at those who are sitting in front of him. He keeps everyone in front of him. Nevertheless, when the specially beloved ones are sitting in front, it emerges from them, for them. You can even read it and catch it. Acha, Om Shanti. So that was the Murli Baba spoke. So we'll have a minute of silence and reflect on what Baba shared today. So today Baba continued with talking about faith, the foundation of faith, and the storms of Maya. So whenever you're given an examination, you need to give a proof of how much you scored, what was your grade. So you receive a certificate. So here too, Baba says that when test papers come, depending on your stage, you receive a certificate. And the certificate that you get comes from Baba and also from the family. And if you maintain an elevated stage, then you will definitely be loved by everyone, by family, by also Baba. So our certificate is really the cooperation that we are giving and the cooperation that we are also receiving from family, from Baba. And Baba spoke about being a closed jewel. So those who are closed jewels, Baba said they have four specialities. They are easy and natural Jnani yogi souls. They are embodiment of virtues and they are servers. So in all areas, they do well. It's not that one yoga would be better than another one. Baba says, no, constant in everything. And Baba says, those who are close, they don't labor. Baba says, your laboring happened for 63 births. Now it's the confluence aged birth. Baba wants to see all of us free from labor and to be double light. So Baba gave an example that you may be doing a Lokik job, but even in that Lokik job, if we keep Baba with us, we stay very double light. With everything we do with lightness. So Baba said that what brings burden is desires. And that's why we be ignorant even to the knowledge of desires. Baba says, whatever you're doing, be it taking care of a household or Lokik job, everything is for this alokik family or for the yagya. If we keep that in mind, then everything becomes very easy. So Baba says, play with Maya, play as a game, and remember that you are victorious and you will always be victorious. So some of beautiful points Baba shared today, and would like to open up for others to share as well. So you can share what touched you from today's Murli.
Om Shanti. Baba somewhere in the Murli spoke about power of discernment and to be stable because of that. Now, what happens when you have people who are unnecessarily speaking things which even doesn't exist in your presence? So for example, you've been insulted. I understand that when you have an insult coming in, there is a body consciousness. But how do you distinguish between self-respect and your body consciousness coming in at that point of time? Like you've been bombarded with things which doesn't even exist um, in that perspective.
Well, when someone's saying things which is far from the truth, I think what the best we can do is just quickly check it if it's, applicable to me or not. Like, for example, someone may give you a constructive feedback. Someone may say something which is totally not true. So it's good to quickly just check it and see if it's applicable for you. So if it's a constructive feedback and you'd be like, okay, this is definitely a good point for me to think about and pay attention to going forward. So I would, intentionally pay more attention to it in my thoughts, words, and actions. But if someone says something which has got nothing to do with what the truth is, think it's just for us to put a full stop to it. That is that soul's sanskara or words, but it's got nothing to do with me. So I choose to not hold it within me and I choose to let go. And best is just to write to Baba and tell to Baba that the soul has said this, but I don't feel it's applicable to me. So I'm giving it over to you and I'm putting a full stop right there. But if there is any guidance, then Baba, you tell me. And then when we give it to Baba, then Baba signals in one way or the other. So one is to just do that self-checking and then hand it over to Baba if it's got nothing to do with you. And the more you focus on yourself and the more you just pay attention on keeping your stage elevated and free from what others say, then naturally even this test paper stops coming, because test papers of one type only come till the time we haven't passed it. But the moment we pass it, then you see that type of test papers even stops coming. So if I don't react, I'm very neutral towards it, then slowly, slowly, even that type of a test paper won't come anymore. So again, it's just how I'm taking it, how I'm responding to it. That's what I have to pay attention to.
I get that. So
Um,
there are points on the chat box Girija has mentioned. Nishchil, Nishchit, Nischint, you are, and the Tufan on other side. Go to the eye of the storm, hold his hand, remember our awareness. She says, I am a powerful soul, child of world almighty authority. You shall wade through the storm under his canopy. The challenges of storms and test papers become a tofa, a gift, stepping stones to move forward unscathed. Deed is to be aware of your original stage. I am powerful soul, child of Shiv Baba, the one and only supreme victory, victory. Vijayi Janma Siddha Adhikar. Love, love you, Baba.
so yes, it's beautifully mentioned when the storm comes, go to the eye, which is the still part of the storm. So even in that storm, am I able to just focus on my true self, my original self, just see myself as a soul, and whoever may be a part of the situation, just see them as Baba's child, as light, and just focus on Baba and just take power from Baba or guidance from Baba as per that test paper and just keep moving forward. So having that faith, and definitely that faith brings victory.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. And one also important yes, message Baba told that just one who likes by yourself and you also like by people and by Father, this is your victorious victory. So not by like by yourself only. It should be liked by people and liked by Miss Father. So this is a victorious. This is a victorious we have to be. So this is line I got my takeaway. Yeah. Thank you, Baba.
And then there's a question that has come. Can you share some thoughts of proof of closed jewels, not 108, at least 16,108? What intense effort? So I think the proof could just be looking at dadis and their lives, because they have really been closed jewels. So, no, and of course, again, it just comes down to faith. Having such a strong foundation of faith is what is needed to be a closed jewel. And, when it comes to faith, what is faith? It is a firm conviction of knowing what the truth is, that I am a soul and Baba is my father, teacher, and guru. And whatever Baba says, whatever Srimad is given to me is for the highest benefit. So I don't question Srimad. I follow it with full conviction, with firm conviction, which is the difference between faith and blind belief. Blind belief is accepting something without understanding. But in faith, you understand knowledge. So that's why we churn knowledge. We go into the depth of knowledge so we understand. And faith is built on that understanding. And then we experience the knowledge, we experience peace, power, and clarity, which then makes faith unshakable. And so that's why it says faith is born through understanding knowledge, and it grows by having an experience, and it'll become unshakable with remembrance of Baba. So Baba always says, first you understand, and that then brings faith. So, and when you say closed jewels, for me, it would be stability, a stable stage in all ups and downs. No matter what challenges are coming, being stable, that would be a sign of a closed jewel. And obedience to Srimad, being completely faithful and not questioning or doubting, and less dependent on people's opinions, getting influenced by what's outside. And the courage to follow Srimad, even though it may be challenging at times, to follow purity in all the levels, the deepest levels of even in your subtle, thoughts. But that courage to keep on going. So, and for us Brahmins, faith begins when the intellect accepts the truth of the self, that I am a soul, not a body. But of course, we don't say these words, we experience it at a deeper level. So uh, it's really the deep commitment towards Srimad, having a stable stage, having complete faith in what Baba tells and with no other mixture. That would be the signs that I can think of. But if anyone has anything else to share, please do so. And when you're a closed jewel, you you are able to understand a lot of subtle things very, very easily. Like I remember once brother had asked Dadi Gulzar this question that, Dadi, we understand not giving sorrow, but how can we not take sorrow? Like someone is insulting you and telling you all sort of harsh words. How can you not be affected by it? And Dadi gave such a simple reply, but so deep if we start to ponder and think about it. She said, if you stop giving sorrow, then you will also stop taking sorrow. So ultimately, going so subtle that nothing negative or waste is coming from giving. I'm being giving as an instrument. I'm not giving anything waste or negative towards anyone. And that will make me strong enough not to even then from take it within when it comes from the outside. So again, understanding that it all starts from within, giving and the getting. So what I consciously pay attention on is giving, then my getting, I will be able to be powerful enough to not come into the influence of anything that doesn't benefit the soul. So yes, that would be, like it said, deep love and belonging to Baba. Yes, deep commitment towards Baba and the directions Baba gives. Anyone else would like to share?
Om, Om Shanti, sister. The storms is sometimes it is our own creation, right, within ourselves, and not sometimes, always it is our own creation, right? So that will definitely come because that's where Maya creeps in to test our faith, right? So, and it is the more we think about it, it start increasing within us. Right, so that is so Maya's intention is to test or shake our faith in that. Right, so basically, when storm comes, right, it's based on our faith that we pass or overcome that faith, that storm, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So basically, this is all our internal stage, right? I'm just trying to clarify.
So you're saying that the internal stage is developed based on faith
Yes,
and
yes.
enables us to, yes, handle storms of Maya. Absolutely, yes. It's the faith that leads to us being strong internally. And, like they even ask, what's the difference between faith and trust? And faith is in the intellect, and trust is in the mind. And trust is all about feelings. So faith is based on the intellect, and the faith is based on knowledge and understanding. And if faith is strong, that's when internally we become very stable and unshakable. And that is faith. And trust is all about the feelings, and it's based on experience and relationships. So, that's a difference. So, in the earlier days, Baba had, of course, not given so much knowledge like we have now. We have refined knowledge now to study. In the early time, there was no refined knowledge. Baba started to give knowledge, but he started to develop trust amongst the children by giving them visions because it's all about experiencing something through the mind. So they would get visions, they would have feelings, and then based on that trust, Baba started bringing the children closer and closer to him. So at that time, there was trust. But now Baba is telling us have full faith, which is coming from deep understanding of knowledge, which is why Baba says you don't need visions because you have now refined knowledge, which you can understand. You can clearly experiment and experience. And this is what is going to develop your faith and make you unshakable. And then when the faith is strong, then absolutely any storms of Maya comes, we don't get affected by whatever is happening outside.
Yes, sister, I want to also ask that also belief that you also said that a blind belief, faith is also depends on your belief. Yeah, no?
Yes, but it is also, but it's like a belief based on complete understanding and clarity. So it's like in faith, you are seeing the path clearly where you're walking. Whereas in blind belief, you may not be knowing where you're walking. So, so that's why Baba gave so much of emphasis on faith in this Murli. So it says here, unshakable faith in the intellect feeds a weak mind, and mind starts trusting the indomitable intellect. Still need to have absolute pure awareness of original sanskaras. So, yes, we need to. We need to be aware of our true self all the time, which is what will only strengthen our faith. So the intellect needs to, like the intellect always decides, right? Falls from the truth, the clarity that it needs. So the intellect needs to always be aware of what the truth is. So the truth is about who we are, what our original sanskars are, who do we belong to, and all this is very clear, and the intellect is totally convinced this is the truth and always leads or points towards the truth, then naturally it will keep making us more and more strong internally, and that there will be absolute faith. So yes, faith can move mountains and transform storms into opportunities. That's why it was mentioned Tofa becomes, sorry, Tufan becomes Tofa. Even a storm will become a gift. Okay, so we can now meditate a few minutes on what Baba said today and just focus a lot on making this foundation of faith very strong. Because Baba said very clearly, this will bring you easy victory without any labor. And Baba said, your laboring has stopped. So this is confluence age. You can attain everything very easily. But Baba said, for that, make your faith very, very strong. So let's become very stable in the awareness of who we are. Turn down the volume of everything that's happening externally and turn up the volume of your internal world. And remind yourself that I am a victorious soul, the one who has full faith in the self, in Baba, in Rama, and in the family. When there is faith, I am carefree. I am humble. I am generous. No matter what storms come, my foundation of faith does not weaken. I remain unshakable and immovable as I go through the test papers in this life. I am the one who claims the certificate from Baba and the family. I am loved by Baba and loved by the family. I am a closed jewel, a natural Jnani yogi soul, an embodiment of virtues, and a server. Wherever I go, Baba uses this instrument for service. And anything I do, be it a responsibility or a Lokik job, I am always with Baba and double light. I am free from all worldly desires. My only pure desire is to make souls belong to Baba. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Sneha Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a beautiful day.